Hey there, quick thing before we dive in. If you are a coach, a creative, or a storyteller who wants to show up like your fave self, either online, on stage, or even just on Insta stories, I created something just for you you're going to absolutely love. It is called Voice and Vibes, and it's a 90-minute one-on-one power session with me to help you feel more like yourself whenever and wherever you speak. These are just cozy conversations between you and I. We're going to get clear on your message, help you align your energy, and get you showing up in a way that feels right and feels like you. So if you're going to be prepping for a post or maybe a big client pitch or a full-blown presentation, we're going to get your words flowing and get your confidence really, really grounded. I've got the link for you in the show notes if you'd like to go ahead and book your session. Okay, let's get into today's episode. Hey there, and welcome back to the Fave Self CEO podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite topics in the world, which is moving. Moving house, yes. And before you roll your eyes, tune me out, hear me out for a second. I read multiple times actually that moving, yes, one of the biggest stressors for people. People downright hate it. I get that. However, I absolutely love it. And this is why. To me, there's nothing better than waking up, your mattress is on the floor, you got a moving box as your nightstand, that first cup of coffee, on your new front porch, the quiet joy of organizing a brand new kitchen, your favorite playlist going on. Oh, some of my all-time favorite moments of life. And without a doubt, the biggest step that I've taken so far in this experiment to become my fave version of myself this year has been moving. What's the word I'm looking for? More specifically, moving out to the country, right? Your home, such an integral part of your life. It is your home base. It is your HQ, your sanctuary, that base of the pyramid, the hierarchy of needs thing that like your therapist will throw at you. Your home is everything, especially if you're a homebody like me. It's our whole universe. And this idea for this podcast episode came about while I was being interviewed last week for a really fun, exciting opportunity this fall. I'm so excited, and there's more to come on that. I can't say anything just yet. It's confidential. But I will be sharing later, so make sure you are subscribed at Fave Self CEO at Fave Self CEO Podcast. This idea came from my interviewer and I after the interview. We started talking about moving because that's the situation they were finding themselves in. And not so much like the sentimental side of it, because that could be a whole other podcast, let me tell you, but the actual mechanics of moving. And me being me, jumped into my full coaching ness. And I just started jabbing my jaws about all of my moving advice, my tips, my tricks, my hacks that have helped me over the last couple months. And when I got off the call, I realized these aren't just things that I've learned from this move. This is from an entire lifetime of moving. If you've been around here for a while, you know my background. I was a TV and radio personality my entire career for 20 years. So I moved around a lot. I first started moving when I was 16, and I have been on the move ever since. I moved across the country, other continents. It's been a lot of boxes and packing tape and U-Hauls and trucks and trailers. And yeah, one time I even moved to my dumpy little old Sunfire on New Year's Eve of 2015, let me tell you. And yes, I did survive. Me and my little pity Harley, we did it back in Regina. So, I've had a lot of practice. I have moved just over 50 times in my entire life, from 0 to now 37, 50 times. So I know some things. And if you're planning a move soon, or even, if you're not and you're just nosy, you just want to know what it's like, I thought I'd share some of my go-to tips and some personal stories, because of course I do that, and just a few things that might make your next move feel a little less stressful and a little more you. And even if you're not moving, you're just in a decluttering or an organizational stage. I am pretty type B, but I think these tips that I've accumulated and have come up with, I think they're going to help you out no matter where you're at. So first up, tip number 1. And this was something that unfortunately I learned later in life, but I'm so glad I at least learned it then. Declutter before you pack a single box or a single bag. And I know sometimes it just feels easier to toss everything into boxes. You know what? I'll deal with it later. But you know what? You probably won't. I would actually put money on it that you won't. And this is coming from somebody who just had an entire basement full of her junk and other people's junk, plus a full double car garage equally full of junk. And I'm one girl with one dog. Like I did not need that much stuff. So dealing with your crap up front makes everything easier. You've got less to pack. You've got less to move. You've got less to unpack in your new place. And I mean, who doesn't like easy? You're only taking things with you that you're going to need in your new life, in your new version of you, your fave version of you. And if you're here in Canada, one of my favorite ways to do this is just by booking a pickup with Diabetes Canada. They're a great organization. You can schedule it right on their website. They come right to your doorstep. You're giving to a great cause. You don't have to drive around to donation centers. I mean, it does not get easier than that. Usually I do let my friends and family go through my stuff first, see what they want, and then I book the pickup and then boom, done, right? And again, the really big bonus here is that getting rid of what no longer fits or serves you gets you that much closer to your fave self. You're not carrying that literal baggage into your new life, your new chapter. All right, that's tip 1. Tip number 2, and this is obvious. This is going to be obvious when I say it, yes, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper on it. Label your boxes. Yes, okay, but I'm about to go one step further and just make a little mini list on the side of the box. Again, I'm not very type A. I think I tend to talk about habits and organization and decluttering maybe a little bit too much for somebody who is pretty type B, but my mother is extremely type A in her masculine energy. So I think I'm going to have her on the podcast and she can actually give like real organizational advice. Like I'm not about to tell you to pull out your label maker and create a spreadsheet. That's something she might do, but I do write the room name on the box, obviously, but then I jot down a short list of what's inside on the side of the box. So instead of just kitchen, I write kitchen and then underneath toaster, coffee mugs, utensils. Like that way, when you're hangry, you're not tearing through 6 boxes labeled kitchen to find your dang toaster, right? Also, this, I guess, is like a kind of like a side tip. I also use paper yard waste bags for my clothes. I've done that forever. I used to be the one who just moved them in garbage bags, but garbage bags, they rip. Even the ones that say they're oh so sturdy, like those Glad stretch, they don't stretch that much, let me tell you. But paper yard waste bags, like for leaves, they're sturdy, they don't rip like garbage bags, and then you just reuse them for yard work later. I just write what's inside on the side. Inside on the side. Yep, there we go. Socks, winter clothes, workout gear, boom. And it makes unpacking so much easier, especially when you're looking for socks. All right, tip 3 is to pack a little bit every single day. So if you've been following around with this story, I first got the nudge to move way back in November of last year, so November of 2024. And so the day after I called my mom, I got up early, was so excited to do this. I put on the Eras tour, of course, and I just started packing. And I began with the non-essential stuff, obviously, like knickknacks, books. And I think I've told this story before. I have an actual legitimate library. My bestie sent me this whole story that was done, I don't know, the Times or somewhere. If you have over 1,000 books, you technically have a small library. I have a library. It's intense. I've counted. So I definitely started with my books. And then I just stacked the boxes neatly off to the side. Packing a little bit every single day keeps you ahead of your stuff and stops that overwhelming last minute scramble. And also for me, because I was listing and selling my house, or I was having people walk through the house and it was my landlord's house, I always wanted it to look less cluttered and more inviting and more opening, because I generally loved every landlord I've ever had for the most part, and I wanted them to get a renter. And for me, this last move, obviously, I wanted to sell the house. So that's kind of a double whammy, if you will. All right, tip 4 is to have an essentials box. And this tip came from, I think it was a neighbor many, many moons ago, and it's one of my favorite life hacks. It's an essentials box. It's not a cardboard box like all your other boxes. It is a Rubbermaid. Points if it's brightly colored. Mine is this beautiful purple Rubbermaid bin. It's the only purple one I have. All the others are like blue and green and black, so I spot it instantly. And inside, I put everything that's an essential, right? Toilet paper, hand soap, dish towels, my coffee maker, my coffee, Lysol wipes. You might want to put your makeup in there, right? Your hairbrush, your toothbrush, anything that you're going to want the night before or the morning of your move. Trust me, this is amazing. It's all in one spot. Put that sucker in the front seat of your car with you. Don't be packing it in the U-Haul. Like, it should be the last thing out of your house and then the first thing in your new place. You do not want to be in the middle of unpacking and then have bubbling guts and not have toilet paper. Or you don't want to wake up your first morning in your new house without your coffee. Trust me on this. Essentials box, it never fails you. All right, tip number 5 is to ask for help. I have moved alone a lot, let me tell you. 50 times I didn't always have friends, but the moves where I've had help from friends or family, a million times better. And not just because like many hands make for light work, but it's honestly just more fun, right? I have moved I've moved using a moving company once in my entire experience, just once. I mean, it was fine, but I still called in my mom and at the time my mother-in-law for reinforcements to come over and help me unpack and set up the rooms, right? I'm not really great at visualizing layout. So extra eyes and hands were a lifesaver. And yeah, you got to get the pizza, you got to get the beer, you got to get, Coke Zero, whatever. Keep your people happy, keep your people fed. It goes a long way in securing that help. And I mean, people help you move, you help people move. It's a cycle of life, right? Everybody's moving everybody at one point or another. Okay. And then tip number 6, and this is my final tip, is to take care of yourself. I love moving. I think it's super exciting, but it's also a lot. So try to sleep as much as you can, at least the month, at least not the week leading up to your move. Drink your water, get some sea salt or some lemon or lime in there, get your electrolytes going, eat real meals, right? Like this is not the time to live off of Red Bull and Twizzlers. Trust me, I've done it. Those are the times that you want your essentials box because your guts they won't be thanking you. If you have kids, it's another level entirely. I've moved once with kids, packing bedrooms full of toys and stuffies and art supplies. Like, well, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take breaks, be gentle with yourself. It's just going to make the process feel so much better. And I mean, it could prevent you from freaking out on someone, right? Like your little brother. The last thing you need when you're moving is like a sibling cage match. Just avoid that whole situation. Those people are there to help you. You want to be kind to them. You want to be in your good mood. All right. I guess what else can I say? After the move, just keep being gentle with yourself, right? Like I moved back in June. Physically moved in June, but I'm still unpacking boxes, right? I'm still rearranging furniture. I'm still discovering closets that look like tornadoes went through them, Your home is a process. I think it's always going to be evolving, and that's okay. It's just part of making it feel like yours. So just be gentle on yourself. So let me pull up my notes. I just want to do a quick recap. The tips: declutter before you pack. Make it easier on yourself. Leave whatever needs to be left alone in your old life. Bring what you want into your new life. Number 2, label boxes, make mini lists. The mini lists, that's the game changer there. Number 3, pack a little every day, keeps you ahead of the stress. Number 4, have the essentials box, toilet paper and coffee at least. Number 5, ask for help. If you are, fortunate, blessed enough to have family and friends, ask them for help, return the favor, be a good friend, be a good family member. And then the last one, number 6, take care of yourself. It's just going to make it that much easier for you. If you, have any advice or tips to add, please send me a DM on Instagram. You can find me there, Fave Self CEO, or at Fave Self CEO Podcast. You can also leave a comment in this show, share it with the rest of our community. And as I was kind of making these notes on my phone, I started to realize, I know this is actually going to be my last move. After 50 moves, after living coast to coast in other countries, other continents, I feel like I am finally in my home, like my forever home. And I don't even have words for that. So I just felt like this was the perfect time to make this episode because I feel like I'm never going to be moving again. I'll help other people move, I'm sure. I'm sure that'll happen. But as for myself, my butt is staying planted right here on this land. So, all right. That's it for today's episode. If you love this chat, make sure you're following the Fave Self CEO podcast so you never miss a new one. If you're planning a move, you got a friend planning a move, maybe you just need some inspo to tackle your space, share it, send this over. You can DM me anytime. Again, Instagram at Fave Self CEO or Fave Self CEO podcast. Love hearing your takeaways, your own moving tips, just what resonated with you today. And until next time, here's to that first coffee on your new porch and every morning after.